Our seventh NCERT chapter, that is measurement of time and motion. So here is a story given as usual. That is Prerna and her young sister are watching a sports channel on television. She enjoys running and she has been declared the fastest runner among the girls in her district for winning 100-meter sprint at an international school at an inter-school competition held at district level. So she is now training to compete at the state level. She dreams of representing India at the international level in 100-meter sprint contests in future. So she has a dream, right? So while watching the rerun of sprints at the Olympic Games held in past, Prerna is always amazed that the measurement of time taken for the race is so advanced that they could identify the winner even when two sprinters seemed to cross the finish line almost together. However, in her school, the sports teacher only used special kind of watch called as stopwatch for timing the school races. She has noticed her mother wearing a watch on her wrist and her sister looking at her mobile phone when she needed to check the time. So her uncle used a braille watch and recently acquired talking watch that announced the time at the touch of a button. So there was also a large clock on the wall near the school of entrance. So here her thoughts turned to people in the ancient past who did not have the modern gadgets we have today. She wondered. So at right now we have various kind of watches, right, including digital watches has started to be. So then what, how the people used to measure the time during ancient time? That was her thoughts. So measurement of time started immemorial. So you can observe here there were water clock, sand clock, that is hourglass, then a sundial, that is representing the shadows formed with the help of sunrays, and the candle clock. Fine. So the people had various kind of instruments created by them for measuring time. So time is a factor which is there, starting from sunrise to sunset. There will be measurement of time, formation of day, formation of night, everything was measured using these kind of instruments during the ancient time. So humans got interested in keeping track of the time long ago. They started noticing that many events in the nature repeat themselves in definite intervals of time. For example, rising of the sun and setting of the sun, the phases of moon, all these were described in the ancient time itself with the help of these small gadgets which they derived. So the sundial time is determined with the changing position of the shadow and the object cast on the light on the can observe here. This is the sundial. And water clocks, the flow of water from 1 hour was used to measure the time. Similarly, the hourglass, the time taken by the sand to entirely get empty on the upper side, that is said to be an hourglass. So it's said to be at the time of 1 hour, right? Then there are fascinating facts that the world's largest stone sundial, the Samrat Yantra, was built around 300 years ago in the Jantar Mantar, Jaipur, Rajasthan. So still it is a kind of monument which we can go and uh, enjoy. Then if we see, you can construct a kind of instrument, that is, take a used transparent bottle. It could be half liter or larger than that with its cap. Cut into two pieces and you can make a pinhole in the cap and you can keep it like this, which is shown here. So place the upper portion like inverted and the entire drip, if it's completed, it's said to be a 1 hour. So this is a water clock. This is how we make it. Fine. Now if we see, the human civilization has evolved a lot. In your olden days you would have seen this pendulum clock too, right? For pendulum, that is the oscillatory motion, we used to study about this pendulum clock. So now we are going to see about a simple pendulum. So a simple pendulum consists of a small metallic ball called as bob of the pendulum. So the bob will start its position from mean position O and it will go to the both of the extreme positions, that is A and B. This to and fro motion is said to be a periodic motion. It is a regular motion, uniform motion, and it is called as the oscillatory motion. Fine. So this oscillation, one oscillation is the movement from the extreme position B to extreme position A passing through the center, that is the mean position. Now you can create a pendulum on your own with this activity too. Then now we are going to see think like a scientist topic. So you just did an important historical experiment which was first done by Galileo. Except you used a watch to measure time in place of your pulse beat. Suppose you were Galileo experimenting with pendulums, what would you investigate? So think about these kind of questions and create your own curiosity and try to find answer for and create a hypothesis, analyze and try to find answers so that you will get new discoveries. Dive deeper. Modern clocks measuring time using the same basic principle, periodically repeating process, but use tiny and very rapid vibration either from quartz crystal or from some kind of specific atomic clocks. So you can see these are some common clocks or watches which are there present in our right now. You can see there are pendulum clocks, wall clock, digital clock, stop that is timer, all these there present in the diagram. So we are using this in this modern time. What is the SI unit of time? It is second. So the symbol is yes. The larger units are minute and hour, but generally SI unit, that is the standard system of international AD units, we consider that seconds are the unit of time. Next, if we see there is a wall clock given here, look at the wall clock shown figure. What is the smallest interval of time we can measure it with? I think it is a millisecond. Right, 1 second is the smallest interval of time that we can measure using a wall clock, because minute milliseconds has not been there. So there are three hands present in a wall clock, that is the hour hand, minute hand and second hand. So for measuring 1 second, it takes 1 second of time, right? So science and society. In today's world, measuring tiny fractions of second is very important, because in sports, timekeeping devices recording all this and the ECG, and for many places we need time. Time is a factor which cannot be destroyed. Slow or fast. So how do we decide whether there is a movement, whether there is a motion, how to consider this as slow or fast? So by comparison, if we compare two objects, if a person A is reaching a certain point from certain distance with this amount speed, that is speed is equals to total distance taken by time. Speed is a kind of scalar quantity. It determines only the distance, that is it does not include a kind of direction. So first you need to understand two important things, that is the difference between the distance and the displacement. Take a point A and take a point B. The distance between A and B can be any kind of curved path or whatever it may be, but the shortest distance between A and B will always be the straight line. That straight line or the shortest path is said to be the displacement. So always displacement will have a direction, that is either A to B or B to A, that is towards right or towards left, like that. So speed is said to be distance by time, whereas velocity is said to be displacement by time. Speed, you can easily remember S for S, that is speed is a scalar quantity, it just has magnitude, whereas velocity, which is having both distance, that is the magnitude, along with the direction, so it is having both quantity, it is a vector. V for V, that is velocity for vector quantity, and S for S, that is speed for scalar quantity. So you can easily remember that. And the SI unit of speed is meter per second, as you already know the meter for the distance, and time is having seconds, so meter per second. So you can solve a small problem with the help of this formula. To find the speed, you should put distance by upon time. So 3.6 is the kilometer is the distance traveled in 15 minutes. So you can solve it using your by converting it into meter per second. Then if we observe, there is a relationship between speed, distance and time, that you can find the distance as speed into time taken. You can find the time by total distance covered upon speed. Fine. So science and society. Vehicles such as scooters, motorbikes, cars and buses have an instrument that is said to be speedometer for measuring the speed. So there are uniform and non-uniform linear motion. See, train on a straight track is traveling a linear motion. So now in your textbook curiosity, you are going to learn something more about it. Uniform motion is nothing but something which is having a constant speed. Any object which moves in the straight line with a constant speed is said to have uniform linear motion. Whereas with respect to the time interval, the motion is not proper, it is said to be non-uniform motion. That's the simple difference. So what we read today, we are going to cover it in a nutshell. Time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is called its time period, that is the to and fro motion. The time period of a simple pendulum of a given length is constant at a place. The SI unit of time is second. It is represented in S. It can also be used with minutes and hours, but generally it's used as a standard unit is second. Then the average speed of an object is the total distance covered divided by the total time taken to cover it. An object moving along a straight line with a constant speed is said to be its uniform linear motion. Whereas if the speed of the straight line keeps on varying with the time period or the time interval, it is said to be non-uniform linear motion.